I'm already in tears, but now I am royally fucked. Ooh. We have now entered deep into the fake dating trope. And I forgot to mention, he's the mayor. Guys, we're at 86% and everything's perfect, and I'm really scared for what's gonna happen. What could happen? Finish the book. Obviously. Hello, welcome back. It's been a while. I actually haven't filmed a sit-down video since before going to Seattle. I'm ready. We got heat warnings here in Seoul. It is 35, but feels closer to like 37 degrees right now. We're not going outside. So we are staying inside to read. And you read the title, you know why we're here, what we are reading. Whenever I go on long flights, which I was just on 2 of them, I typically read romantic comedies, as you guys might know, as you guys might be sick of hearing. And so I was over prepared for this trip. I have so many rom-coms that I want to read on my Kindle, and I obviously didn't finish them all. And one of the top ones on my list that everyone has been buzzing about is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. But I have learned apparently there are callbacks to her previous work. And so I thought, you know what? I need a book that I can just finish really quickly. I just finished reading The Arc of Air by Sabaa Tahir, which is one of my most anticipated reads of 2024. And I am gutted. I felt every emotion, literally every emotion reading that book. So I need a romantic comedy. I need Abby to come in, save the day. I've never read any work by Abby Jimenez, so we're gonna go full in. We are reading, I believe it is 3 of her book. I might overdo it with romantic comedies, but that's okay. But before we dive in, I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of this video. Speaking of summer, thank you so much to Skillshare. I have done this since I was a kid, but whenever I am out of school, I feel like summer is the time where I try to dive into all the things I want to learn, but I've just been putting off. So if you have any skills that you're looking to pick up or perfect or whatever, I highly recommend checking out Skillshare this summer. They have thousands of classes. You can learn how to open your own business, but you can also learn how to needlepoint and darn socks and things like that, anything you can think of. And actually for my other job, I have been using Skillshare's classes on Canva and how to create different kinds of social media content. But the other day I was at a cafe prepared to take my Canva classes when I realized my Apple Pencil wasn't working. So I was like, you know what? Let's go to my all-time favorite section of Skillshare, which is their creative writing classes. I struck gold. I took this one particular class. I'm not finished with it, but I started creative writing boot camp. I will leave it down below. The instructor is so fun. It was just a bunch of different creative writing prompts that basically you just write for 8 minutes at a time, and it was so fun. But they truly have that specific section if you are interested in writing, whether it is poetry. There's one class that's how to be funny online, creating dialogue. They have world building classes. I mean, truly a gem. So I will have a link in the description box. First 500 people to click it will get 1 month free. Do it. I am only 2 classes into the creative writing bootcamp, and I'm having so much fun. And this is the time. Summer, stretch that creative muscle, okay? Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this. And let's see what we are getting ourselves into. I believe I am starting with, let me look this up, Part of Your World. Okay. Here we go. So I have seen this cover before, and I don't know why I wasn't interested in starting this, but apparently this is part 1 of 2 in the Part of Your World series. 360, almost 361,000 ratings on Goodreads, a solid 4.3. This is what we're reading first. It's been a while since I've done a dramatic Goodreads reading. Okay. After a wild bet, a gourmet grilled cheese sandwich, and a cuddle with a baby goat, Alexis Montgomery has had her world turned upside down. The cause? Daniel Grant, a ridiculously hot carpenter. Oh, I think this is maybe why I didn't pick it up. Who's 10 years younger than her and as casual as they come. The complete opposite of sophisticated city girl Alexis. With so many differences between them, how can Alexis possibly choose between her world and
his. So, okay, I think this is why I didn't pick it up. I'm not the biggest fan of the city girl, small town guy romance. But there is a baby goat on the cover of this book, and I feel like we should give it a try. I feel like I should not start this book without having a grilled cheese sandwich set in Minnesota. All right, and so let's see. Let me just make sure before we start this. Okay, so we are correct. We are correct. It is Part of Your World, followed by Yours Truly, followed by Just for the Summer. So here we go. I think it's like 400 something pages. Part of Your World, Abby Jimenez. Maybe I'll become a small town romance girly. Who knows? In we go. Okay, I might not have grilled cheese, but I do have nectarines. Is nectarine good yet? Not quite. I can actually leave these out to do their thing. Cherries instead. Cherries is still a summer fruit. Oh. Okay, now we're ready. Sorry for the weird angle. I'm holding off on my opinions, but Daniel just left the bar and said, I need to feed the kid. And I know this is going to be a miscommunication. We know that there's a baby goat on the cover of this book. Abby, come on. Okay, hello. 13% update, 50 pages in. Dual POV. I enjoy the setup. It's very classic rom-com film. It is playing in my head. I see it. The only thing I don't think I love is I'm not the biggest fan of first person. I think it's just something that I need to sink into, especially because most of what I read is third person. So I just gotta kind of get back into it. It's also a little heavy on the dialogue currently. Like there are just really long conversations, but again, I think that that's just like I just haven't been reading books like that in a bit, so I need to just get into it. It's cute. I'll give it that. I think the baby goat jokes have not gotten old yet. Keep them coming. But yeah, we're basically following our main character who a series of unfortunate events, including swerving to not hit a raccoon, leads her into a bar in which she leaves with a man who makes her a really good grilled cheese. And even though she doesn't do one night stands, things happen until she sees his driver's license and sees that he's 28 years old, and she freaks out and runs away. But now she has decided that maybe, you know, she doesn't do one night stands, but if she visits him again, especially because she needs to return the hoodie that she stole, then it's not one night, right? So I don't know. This hasn't knocked me off my feet yet, but it's going by really quickly. I think that if you need a book that's just easy to read, I'm 50 pages in and it feels like I did just start reading. It's also like a little unbelievable. They are like the Vanderbilts or the Rockefellers of the medical world. Like her family are big like philanthropists, but they also work in the hospitals kind of thing. Like she works in the ER, and when other like first year med students or doctors come in and they see her, they're like, oh my God, it's a Montgomery. Like that, I'm a little bit like, But we suspend disbelief when we are reading these books. So it is okay. Let's see what Daniel has to say. But just overall, the vibes of like a classic rom-com are there. So I'm in.
Okay, so he gets a lot of points for talking very, very seriously to his dog. And his dog is really cute. No. This is giving like skater boy energy. No, Alexis. All the awards. And I forgot to mention, he's the mayor. He's like, it's a small town. It's just a title. But he is the mayor.
All right, I changed. We had dinner. Now I'm in my pajamas. 34% update. I
am still on the fence. I think that this is a good rom-com. It just isn't my style of rom-com because it's hitting on like all the tropes that I don't typically enjoy. One thing I do like though, that I think is like a clever use of the dual POV, is that they are so stressed about their appearance, like what the other person is thinking, when the other person is not thinking about that at all. Like Daniel is so obsessed with the fact that like, oh my god, my pickup truck is so beat up, she's gonna be so freaked out, like she's so fancy and my car is so junky, and she's worried about something that she said. Like she's not even thinking about the truck, she's thinking about the fact that she made a comment that he thinks it when he didn't even register, you know, like it's clever. But one thing I don't love is grown women. Like this woman is 37, and I know it happens, but she's a 37-year-old woman about to turn 38, and she has the shittiest friends. Like she has one good, like actual close friend, but she hangs out with these two other girls that are just horrible. And it's like, I just don't have patience for people who like keep those friendships in their lives. Yeah, we're at the point where they accidentally have like a girls trip planned and she didn't ask what B&B they booked, and it's Daniel's B&B. Yeah, so like technically a good rom-com, very nice. It just hasn't been my cup of tea yet. Like they got together literally on like the 8th page, and now we're just working through the kinks of like how can they actually make this relationship work, versus I like the yearning and like the tension, and that's not really here. But I'm excited for the side characters. I always love if there is a small town romance or like a small town anything. I always love the like village people, the side characters. So I'm excited for more of that. But yeah, we are 136 pages in.
You're filming, so I'm not gonna help that. So predictable, woman.
Okay, very quickly, time has passed. I showered, fell asleep midway, finished the book. It was only 373 pages, but the book is done. I was fully prepared, as I'm reading the epilogue, to show you the tears that are welling in my eyes when my husband comes out of nowhere saying, I haven't talked to you in a while. I just wanted to say hi. I had 5 pages left of this book. He does this every time. Now he chooses to be silent. But yeah, I was going to show you that I was actually crying, but then I got interrupted and my tears just dried right up. So yeah, I will say that I appreciated this as a book. I wouldn't call this a rom-com. First of all, this is just a romance. It actually went into many dark themes, actually, all talking about all different kinds of abuse, whether it's coming from family, friends, whether it's physical, emotional. There was even like a slightly almost traumatic birth scene. Like it was, yeah, there was a lot packed in here, which I think then made me like it a lot more. I still think just typically that kind of conflict in a story is usually not my favorite thing, where it's like, oh, my life is so different than yours. We just aren't meant to be, even though you are clearly meant to be. That's typically not a story that I really connect with, but I thought that it was written extremely well. I think it was definitely written easily. Like she definitely used ugh a lot. It was very dialogue heavy. It was a lot of telling rather than showing, I guess. Because it was in first person, our characters would just very simply tell us every thought that was going through their heads rather than us kind of seeing that. It was just easy to read, and I thought that it covered things in a really interesting way. And the relationship was damn cute, and it did make me tear up at the end. So I am removing this download from my Kindle, and I tomorrow will be starting yours truly. Cover is giving me no clues, but I hope she gives Doug a chance. Who knows? But yeah, I have to go to sleep, so I'll see you tomorrow. Testing. Hello? We are back. It is a new day. I don't know if it was because I haven't been talking to a camera in a while or what, but something about reading literally until the moment I fell asleep. Like the last clip you just saw, seconds later I was in bed trying to fall asleep. Something about, I think, talking to the camera, but also finishing a book that I binge read. I had dreams that I read the next book. I had dreams that I was filming what I am doing today. It was not a restful sleep. I don't know. I get that all the time. Like, that's a big problem I have since I started working. So, like, when I was 16 years old, if I do a job routinely, I will dream about it and I won't rest. Like if I know I have to go to work again the next day, like my first ever job, I was a ticket taker at Legoland and I would dream about taking tickets. This has happened to me my whole life. I have dreams where I'm editing videos. It's an issue. So yeah, I feel like I am living in the Twilight Zone doing this all over again, but I'm excited because, let me look it back up. I'm excited because the book that we're reading today is book number 2, and this has even more ratings and reviews than the first one. This, according to Goodreads, has 408,000 ratings versus the 360, I think it was. Still sitting at a solid 4.32 this time. And this time we're following Bree, which is the best friend of our main character Alexis from the last book. Here we go. Let me tell you what it seems to be about. It is a novel of terrible first impressions, hilarious second chances, and the joy in finding your perfect match. Dr. Brianna Ortiz's life is seriously flatlining. Her divorce is just about to finalize, her brother's running out of time to find a kidney donor, and that promotion she wants? Yeah, that's probably going to the new man doctor who's already registering 80-7 on Brianna's pain in my ass scale. But when just all systems are set to hate, Dr. Jacob Maddox completely flips the game by sending Brianna a letter. Tell me what. I love letters in books. I don't care if they're emailed, text messages, don't do it for me. Emails, letters. Give them to me, please. And you know what? It's a really good letter. The kind that proves that Jacob isn't actually Satan. Worse, he might actually be funny and a subversively likable guy who's just terrible at first impressions. Because suddenly they are exchanging letters, sharing lunch dates in her sob closet, and discussing the merits of freakishly tiny horses. But when Jacob... I feel like that's a spoiler. I wish I didn't read that Goodreads summary, synopsis. What? My lips are sealed. I'm not actually going to tell you that. I'm not going to tell you what. Wait, she's a Food Network winner. Wait, we got to dive into who the hell Abby Jimenez is. She's an author and a baker? Tell me more. Do you have a Wikipedia? Okay, hold on. She has so many books. Wait. Okay, bless. She does have a Wikipedia page. She won Cupcake Wars? What? So she actually has she's another series. So I'm currently reading the Part of Your World series, which came out in 2022, 23, and 24. But prior to that, she had the Friend Zone series, which is 19, 2020, and 2021. The Friend Zone, the Happy Ever After playlist, and Life's Too Short. And apparently the Happy Ever After playlist has been optioned and is potentially being worked into a film. That's exciting. So we'll see. Maybe I will continue. I don't know how much time I have. I might be like a little bit tired out. Well, regardless, I love her even more now that I know that she won Cupcake Wars. Okay, so yeah, we're diving into yours truly. I love bad first impressions. I love exchanging letters. I don't know about what I just read in the spoiler. I don't know if I'm gonna like that. I'm also, if you like another tangent, but if you watch my other channel, Caricakes, haha, if you would like to know more about my life, that's more of my vlogging, travel, lifestyle channel. If you watch that, you might know that Kurt and I, my husband, have been binging House. We watch at least one episode a day. We're almost done with season 6 of House. And so I just feel like I'm a little bit overcome with the amount of medical stuff that, like, the media I consume is always about doctors. So I'm a little, I wasn't expecting these to be romances about doctors, but here we are. Let's begin. I also might be reading on the bus. I might be reading in public for a little bit of this because I actually have to go get my camera fixed, my other camera. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. We're gonna start with yours truly. Let me just pull it up. This is also, at least at the time that I downloaded it, it's on Kindle Unlimited. There's a dog on the cover and a blurb by Ali Hazelwood. That table of contents is long, girl. Okay. Oh, there's a content guidance in here. It says that this book is close to my heart for a lot of reasons, but before you dive in, want to give you a heads up to a few of the themes, including a main character who was cheated on in a past relationship, flashback to a pregnancy issue, mention of suicide, and a character who has clinical anxiety. Despite these heavy topics, you will be treated to laughs and happily ever afters for all. It's going to be multiple POV. Chapter 1, starting with Brianna, aka Bri. So, spoilers for Part of Your World. If you're here skipping around and you didn't read Part of Your World, I'm just going to spoil the ending of that. So, fair warning. Thank you. Ready? Okay. So Alexis was meant to take over the position of chief of emergency medicine because the current chief was retiring and she decided she didn't want to do that. She took on a different role. So that upcoming job opening, that upcoming promotion is still up for grabs. And I believe Bri is going for it. And so that's what's happening. So everybody is talking to her, assuming that she already is. They're referring to her as the chief, but Gibson hasn't retired yet, and the board hasn't voted on his replacement. So, and now there's a new doctor. All right, we begin. I will give you updates wherever I may be in public, okay? Bye. We have to talk. I love this book so much more than Part of Your World. Here's the thing with Part of Your World, one thing I didn't mention, endless references to A Princess Bride. So, I mean, really enjoyed that part. But I just couldn't, as I mentioned, I don't really connect with the feeling of familial pressure, or our main character struggled a lot with oh my God, he's so much younger than me. I couldn't really empathize too much. The problems didn't seem like actual problems, hurdles that were too big to jump over. But these two, okay. First of all, the writing is just significantly better quality, I think. But yeah, we basically just start with Jacob has a horrible first day. Every single patient that comes into the ER dies. Granted, they're all brink of death anyway. But he just has a horrible day. And him and Bri end up having this run-in where she accidentally breaks his phone. It was just a miscommunication. Stuff that happens at a hospital, blah, blah, blah. In order for him to apologize, he writes her a letter. And then they just start exchanging letters. And when eventually Bri is you know what? I really like talking to him and I don't want to wait until we get back to work to have a letter from him. So then they start messaging on Instagram. Then they start calling each other. It's just, it's really cute. Okay, it's cute. But so I read 100 pages. I'm at 28%. And I felt like I didn't even look up. Granted, it is faster because a lot of it is letters and the formatting makes it, whatever. But I really like it. And Jacob suffers from anxiety. He is on medication. He talks about journaling and the things that he has to deal with. And as someone with anxiety, I'm not on any kind of medication or anything like that, but I feel
so seen by this. And sometimes when characters are written with anxiety, it makes me anxious. Like, it makes me aware of my anxiety and I just get like freaked out. But the way that Jacob is written, he talks about all of his coping mechanisms, and that just makes me feel calmer. I'm like, okay, yeah, he feels this way, but he knows how to get himself into a better situation. Like, he talked about how at the end of that shift, when like his last social interaction was that horrible confrontation with Bree, his friends asked if he wanted to hang out after work, and he's like, part of me is super drained, like my social battery is totally drained, but I know that if I go home directly, I'm just gonna ruminate on that horrible interaction. If I put something in between, if I'm with people who are reminders that people like me, when he said that, I was like, like, it's so easy, especially for me. I have this really badly where I think everyone hates me. And being with a friend, just a reminder that like, wait, there is like a human that enjoys my company or that likes me, can completely reset my day. And so for him, when he said that, and he was like, I just like being, you know, they're such nice people, I love being around them, but I also like having a reminder that there are people that care about me. I was just like, what else did I write down? I think that I highlighted a couple things. Oh my gosh. But yeah, also like, but his anxiety isn't just like sad and stressful. It also kind of adds to the humor because they're texting, and it's the first time Brianna texts him and she says like, hey, and he's like, and she says, what are you doing? And he's like, panicking? What do you think I'm doing? It's lighthearted. For someone who's very uncomfortable in life, he seems to be relatively comfortable. Like, he's very self-aware in his anxiety, which I really appreciate. And then Bree says something. I also really like Bree. Bree is also a very self-aware person. Like, she's very aware when she's going through a divorce right now. So she's like, I am fully aware that I am like in my petty era. She's hanging out with people she doesn't even like just because they're also petty, and she likes to just like shit talk with them. So she's very aware. But after she gets, I don't remember if this is before the first letter or after. Oh, this is right after she gets his first letter, where he explains that, like, I'm an introvert, I have anxiety, I'm so sorry if I came off horrible, blah, 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 blah. And she realizes, she says, maybe I was one of the mean girls. And like realizing that, because I think at some point in our lives, we have all been a mean girl, like even if it's just for a split second, how you judge someone. Coming to terms with the fact that like, yeah, sometimes you are mean. Sometimes you are not the hero of the story. You're not the nicest person in the room. I thought that like immediately endeared me to Brie, that she was like, oh shit, yeah, no, I actually did mess up and I shouldn't have behaved that way. And we're gonna change that. And like, I just really appreciate both of these characters. They are self-aware, but also like messes. I really like it so far. I don't know really what the crisis is gonna be, because what I thought, the whole like fighting for each other's job thing, from where it stands now, that has been completely cleared. Jacob is like, wait, I didn't actually want that. I don't know why your boss said that. I'm not interested in the job. So that might be off the table. I don't know if they're gonna pull some weird stuff, but either way, like, I don't know where this story is going, but I just find these two so endearing, and I like them. I love this book. I'm having a really good time. And they're both funny. Like, I've been giggling. I don't think I really giggled too much in Part of Your World. I knew that there were parts that were supposed to be funny, like the goat in pajamas, ha ha ha. But this one, I'm actually like, they're telling each other stories about the ER, and they're just really funny. So yes, if it felt like Part of Your World was kind of a dud, it's just because that wasn't my kind of book. This is my kind of book. I'm really enjoying it. I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna make a little lunch. I got home from the coffee shop. What a great day.
We have now entered deep into the fake dating trope. And it's so good. It's real good. Yeah. 44% update. I'm like going around cleaning my house, trying to slow down my reading experience because I want to keep reading this so much. And I can't, guys, I can't help it. I fucking love a fake dating trope. I love it. Ooh. I'm sorry, guys. I'm at 72% and I have nothing to say except that I'm really enjoying this. And their kind of like crisis was not, it was over. It was a little, you know, wibbly wobbly, but they overcame it quite quickly. And now they're just doing the whole like fake dating. This is all fake. Too bad we're never gonna be together. That whole shtick, I eat it up. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna like finish it and I'll see you on the other side. Idiots. Idiots. I had to come in here to get a snack because who the hell is Levi? Brianna. Guys, we're at 86% and everything's perfect and I'm really scared for what's gonna happen. What could happen? What's gonna happen? I'm already in tears, but now I am royally fucked. Oh no. We're fine. We did it. We're fine. That was truly my style of, I don't know if we'd call that a romantic comedy. It was really funny. That was chef's kiss. I'm sorry about the air conditioning. I can't turn it off. My whole body is so hot. Incroyable. I will say that, like, ironically, it holds one of my least favorite tropes. Multiple times, there's like so many pregnant women in this book, which is never, ever, ever my thing. So it almost kind of lost me, but honestly, it was just so good. But now I have to go because Kurt's gonna walk in that door any second. This man, I swear to God, he knows when I'm about to finish my book. He just texted me that he's coming up if I needed anything. I feel like I should have asked for tissues. Anyway, so I'll talk more cohesively about it tomorrow, but I just think part of your world was just kind of like hitting, you know, every beat that a romance novel has to hit. This one just dealt with trauma and anxiety and just, obviously it was a little over the top happy ending-y, but I'll see you tomorrow. We're gonna read Just for the Summer, which is apparently following Benny, Brianna's little brother's best friend, Justin. And all right. Bye. Oh my gosh, welcome back. It is a new day. I rested for one day in order to just digest yours truly and not burn myself out on romance books, but I am here. I went for my morning walk and got caught in a huge downpour. So if I look like I've been through it, I've been through it. There was thunder, there was lightning, there was so much rain, but we're okay. Just a little update on yours truly now that I've thought about it. I still stand by the fact that I really loved this book. I think that the way that anxiety was written about, I made a TikTok/reel about it. So if this sounds familiar, hey. But just the way that anxiety was talked about was just so great. And I think it's really helpful. Like, my husband is very understanding of the things that I need in order to feel like mentally good going into a situation. But for people whose partners like don't get it, I think that that book is so important just to show that your partner can and should get it, you know? There's all this talk about romance books setting the standards too high for romantic partners, but this was like reasonable. Like, I don't need a man to like fireman carry me from like a burning building, right? I don't need that. But like something simple as understanding your anxiety and giving you all the tools possible to function as like a happy and healthy human being. Oh, great work, Abby. I also got a comment. I haven't, maybe I'll look this up. I got a comment on one of my videos saying that apparently she uses a lot of sensitivity readers, sensitivity tea. According to an interview she had on Good Morning America, she talks about how she always has sensitivity and beta readers, advisors. In this case, she used several psychologists that helped her depict mental health. That's wonderful. And I believe it based on just from what I saw with specifically Jacob. I have never really dealt with like cheating and that kind of trauma that Bree went through, so I don't really know if that's a super accurate depiction, but Jacob, whoo, 10 out of 10. But my main critique for that book is just that why, and spoilers here, spoilers, just talking about a trope that happens at the end. That's like kind of the last crisis they face. Are you ready? Are you leaving? There's an unexpected pregnancy trope. She's pregnant. She's 5 weeks pregnant. And everyone in this book, by the way, is pregnant. Let's just say every woman that is of an age in which they can be pregnant is pregnant. And I was just kind of like, what? That was just an odd choice. I feel like we didn't need that many babies. And a couple people did comment that like, yeah, this was going to be a perfect book, and then it knocked it down to like 4 stars or 3 stars or something like that because of the use of that trope. I agree. I feel like we could have definitely found other ways to make that crisis happen. So yeah, it could have been a perfect book, but just the use of that, I was sort of like, really? So that's my main critique, is just like, why? Impressive though that she could use my least favorite trope and still retain really great romance book category in my mind. Now we are going into Just for the Summer. This is the book that got me to where I am now. Everyone is talking about it. It recently came out, and I feel like people are suddenly realizing, like me, wow, Abby Jimenez has been around and I haven't read her books and they're great. What are we doing? I also have decided I'm not going to be reading her first series, The Friend Zone or whatever. People have said that is like not great, and I have a feeling as a writer she's just getting better, so I'm not really at this moment in time going to be backtracking. Just for the Summer, this has the same amount of reviews as Part of Your World, and it only came out in April. Okay, we're talking about Part of Your World came out 2-3 years ago. This book exploded Just for Summer, just so you know. So yeah, 352, let's say, 1,000 ratings, sitting at a 4.41. Also, I just gotta say, I have spent this entire week reading books about Minnesota, and they just announced Kamala's running mate. So I feel like I'm a Minnesotan, and I'm like, yeah, man, go Minnesota. I don't know, I feel a lot of Minnesota pride right now, which makes no sense. Anyway, Just for the Summer. Justin, who he was mentioned briefly in Yours Truly, but Justin is Bree's brother's best friend. All we know about Justin is that his dad passed away a couple years ago, and it was really rough, and Benny was there for him, and so Justin showed up and was like a really good friend for Benny through his illness. Okay, so we already know Justin's just like a solid bro so far. Okay, here we go. Justin has a curse, and thanks to a Reddit thread, it's now all over the internet. Every woman he dates goes on to find their soulmate the second they break up. When a woman slides into his DMs with the same problem, they come up with a plan. They'll date each other and break up. Their curses will cancel each other's out, and they'll both go on to find the love of their lives. It's a bonkers idea, but it just might work. Okay, this is goofy. I love a goofy plot. Some things that turn me off of like rom-coms or romances is when the plot is like kind of serious. Like, okay, your coworkers, calm down. I love a goofy plot. This is great. Emma hadn't planned that her next assignment as a traveling nurse would be in Minnesota, but she and her best friend agreed that dating Justin is too good of an opportunity to pass up, especially when they get to rent an adorable cottage on a private island on Lake Minnetonka. It's supposed to be a quick fling, just for the summer. Love when a book drops the title in, just gotta say. But what if this time fate has actually brought the perfect pair together? Okay, so it's like not fake dating, but almost fake dating. Dating to break a curse? Thank you, Abby Jimenez. I'm super excited. Once again, dog on the cover. I feel like this is a good sign. Goat on the cover didn't really do it for me. Dog, yes. I am going to drink my coffee, cool down a little bit. The rain Are you kidding me? Like, I can't make this up. I swear, it was pouring. Do you see the rain on the window? There's blue sky now. C'est la vie, I suppose. Oh my god. Wait, also, I'm not gonna use it today because I don't feel like laying in my bed. But, it's right here. Ya girl got the Kindle page turner button. Yeah, so I'm not using it today, but just know. Oh, great times ahead. Okay, gonna do all the things. I'll meet you on the couch. Starting off strong on the Am I the Asshole subreddit. The way that my best friend's grandma has a Brussels Griffon, whatever, and I know exactly what this dog looks like. Oh no, he's hideous. Okay, I just Googled this. There was mention of Nadia cakes in the previous book as well, talking about like you should have bought donuts for the nurses. That's when the nurses would have liked you, whatever. But talking about Nadia cakes and the Food Network, this is where Abby Jimenez worked. That is real ballsy shit to reference your own bakery in your own book. That's really funny. But anyway, yeah, it's cute. Let me turn you around. Or maybe I shouldn't turn you around. I am fully in pajamas. It is cute. It is funny. There is banter. I am suspending all disbelief in terms of the way that they come into contact. They go from her reading the Reddit thread to being on the phone with each other, FaceTiming within a couple of days, which is just like, I don't care that her best friend checked the sex offender registry and did all the due diligence to see that he wasn't some kind of creep. It's a little fast, but I'll take it. It's funnier, I think, than any of her other ones. Like the kind of back and forth banter that Bree and Jacob had that I thought was quite funny. This is times 5. I'm not gonna go crazy, but it's a lot more because they're just only talking on the phone. There's not really anything else going on. Here we go. I also think that it's interesting that it looks like Emma's mom is very similar to what Daniel's mom was like in the first book. Very like young, single mom. No one ever knows where she is unless she's calling you to get a loan for money, things like that. So I think it's interesting that she is using that again as like a character background, but I think that this is going to be much more present in this book. And the mom kind of in Part of Your World, the mom kind of sets off a bit of a crisis, but I feel like she really wasn't involved at all. Like I could forget that she existed. But I feel like this mom, are they the same? They're not related. No. I felt like they had the same name, but never mind. Anyway, that's my 16% update. I'm on page 50. Cute. I was sidetracked by work, and as such, I'm literally still on the exact same page that I talked to you 2.5 hours later. Okay, I'm diving back into the story. I don't want to have to be an adult anymore. I'm gonna read. Okay, I'm a little confused because wasn't Neil Bree's ex-husband? And he... No, he was Alexis... Okay. Too many guys with N names. So Neil was Alexis from Part of Your World, was her like serious live-in boyfriend, should have gotten married kind of thing. Because I was confused because everybody loved Bree's boyfriend, and apparently Hector is like, nobody likes Neil. So I was like, what happened to this friendly man? But no, but I thought people liked Neil too. I forget. I thought that both Bree and Alexis's significant others were like well liked. All right, doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I don't care about consistency. Let's go. Oof. So one sort of odd thing, I'm at 43% and they've only gone on 2 dates, like 1.5 dates. They really haven't been in the same room with each other very much. It's been a lot of like building up their own lives, I think. So I'm not fully feeling the chemistry. It just seems like 2 people who are both really nice that get along and think the other is like physically attractive, only because that's all we've really gotten is like, oh my god, she's so pretty, and oh my god, he's got a nice butt and stuff like that. So I'm excited for them to actually have feelings for each other, but they just keep having these conversations about their mothers, I guess, is the thing, which is like the way that she writes trauma and stuff is, I think, really good. So I don't mind reading it, but I'm sort of like, it's not feeling as romancy as I thought I was signing up for. But I like these people. Like I wish them happiness, but I'm 43% of the way through and I thought I was gonna have butterflies at some point, but not quite. I will now be calling raccoons forbidden puppies from now on. I just did a bunch of thrifting and scored, so ignore this pile, but very monumental moment. Kurt and I finally bought a lamp, so please bear witness. Exciting. Oh, this is stupid. Part of the contract is that they need to kiss at least once in order for it to be a proper relationship so that it counts, and then they can break up and find their soulmates. So he's like, well, I just won't kiss her. Abby. Coming at you a little bit later. Dinner has been had, face has been washed, we're ready. I need to put on moisturizer. Anyway, I think one of the things that is making this a different experience than especially yours truly is that these people are young. They're 29 and 28. I feel like Emma is a little bit more, she's like aware of she's like emotionally mature when it comes to everything except for her situation with her mom. But Justin seems to be like a little not self-aware, a little less self-aware than, for example, Bree and Jacob. They had their trauma and they were like aware that they were traumatized and they relatively knew how to deal with it, but were struggling. Justin just seems to like have like he's just beginning to process things. So that's why I think this feels a little different. Like we're really ruminating on certain things that I feel like other characters Abby has written would have already been like aware of and like working to fix. I don't know if that makes sense, but like basically he just realized like, oh my god, yeah, maybe my mom embezzled money because she was like suffering from just losing her husband. You know, like why didn't he put that together earlier? I don't know, just oh my god, I love this question. I knew it. So Daniel from the first book is her half-brother. I don't love that this world is so small. Like, why does everyone know each other? And I'm also glad that I'm not crazy and that she didn't write 2 identical women. But I don't know why this doesn't really add to the story to me that she has a half-brother. But I mean, happy for her. He's a great guy. Just weird. Why is this all connected? I'm at 87% and this is chaos. I swear to god, if I'm not getting a happy ending, I'm gonna be so pissed. I'm gonna call Abby up. Okay, I thought this was going to be like, it was an Easter egg for the next book, but Maddie did mention that she loves that fucking song that Doug plays on his guitar, so I was like, oh my god, maybe the next book is Maddie and Doug. But no, they found romance in this book, and I'm so happy for Doug. Not the dragonflies. Okay, I finished the book. Obviously. So this one was really interesting. I'm gonna explain it. I had the thought in my head for a second and then it just flew out my ears. This was an interestingly paced romance because it was about two people, or really, I suppose just one person, who this was just not the right time, and it wasn't this dramatic thing of like, just choose me, be with me. She really had to choose herself, and like she actually had to take time. And so I think that's why maybe the buildup was different than what I'm used to, but I do think having that written was important, showing that it can be a gesture of love to love yourself a little bit first, so that you can love in your best, you know, as your best self. So yeah, I appreciated it. I still think that I didn't quite feel the buzz. Like I felt like it was, again, they were just two nice, attractive young people that met, and there it is. But there were just some really great thoughts about trauma and love and what you deserve. So hats off. I think that if you want like a kicking your feet, heart melting romance, Yours Truly is for you. I think if you want to understand all the characters, Part of Your World is for you. It felt very much like a nostalgic rom-com that you would find on TV, like not one of the top tier 90s rom-coms, but like maybe a mid-tier one that you can, when you're homesick, you would put it on, you know? That's what Part of Your World kind of felt like for me. Yours Truly was like, oh, great, except for the last bit, which I'm just choosing to forget. And this one felt almost less like a romance because it really was about trauma and childhoods, and yeah, just totally not what I expected, especially from the cover. The cover makes it seem like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be this cute, like they're renting this cute cottage. They mentioned these like 4 Adirondack chairs with a fire pit. They never used the fire pit on the beach. Like, they set it up as like this, oh my gosh, a summer romance, and then it was just like painful. And so many jokes about the toilet king. Anyway, I'm happy that I'm happy for this experience and for this experiment. I'm a little delirious. I'm very hot. Do you guys ever get when you're like reading in bed for a long time? I've been in bed for like 3 hours, toasty, like my body just gets really hot. So I need to go like sit under the air conditioning, and so I can go to sleep later. But yeah, this was a fun time. I hope that this either encouraged you to read them, or especially Yours Truly, or you had fun reliving them with me, whichever it is. Thank you for being here. And once again, thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this. Go take their creative writing class. Literally, the creative writing boot camp, the first prompt is make a list of all, like, the top 5 people you hate. I was sitting in the cafe that I was doing this in, like, oh my God. But it ended up being a really fun time. So take that class, please. I will have a link in the description box. First 500 people to click it will get 1 month free of Skillshare. So go do it. Take the boot camp. I'll link that class down below because it was just a funny time. But yeah, thank you as always for being here. Let me know if you have any authors you want me to try, any books you want to read along with me. I want to keep doing more of these, I think, because I just have so much fun with them. And I feel like it's a little book club that we have. And yeah, so I will catch you guys next time. Ugh, Jacob. See you. I also loved that they hated boys with J names right after she wrote a whole book about Jacob. Like, come on, Abby. Anyway, I'll catch you later. Okay, bye.